Hi everyone, and it's Friday and it's time for our PSHE lesson. I'm all about mindfulness and mental well-being. Welcome to anyone who wants to join us. So today we are going to be thinking about how we feel, and hopefully we're going to be building on all the things that we've tried out over the last few weeks. We're going to be thinking about spending time and enjoying the moment. And we're going to be thinking about building our mindfulness confidence with nature. So if you remember last session, we were thinking about special or happy place, and we thought about all the happy vocabulary that there was. And rather than saying fine, we would think about how we were actually feeling. And over the last few weeks, we've been thinking about our emotions and putting and naming that emotion by using the different types of vocabulary. And hopefully we're going to be focusing today on feeling calm, feeling joy, and feeling content and maybe thoughtful. So just to recap, you can use this vocabulary sheet whenever you feel like it, and it's always worth having a look. And if we actually remind ourselves, over the last few weeks, we have been listening to sounds and trying to think about the sounds. We've been trying to do our doodles, just making our own mark making and colouring in and being mindful. Some of you I know have bought mindfulness sheets or printed them off or made your own, and this one was a lovely way of just making circles, making spirals and circles, and then colouring them in. The other things we've been doing over the last few weeks is, remember, we talked about how we felt and making a map of emotions so that we could go to the map whenever we were feeling uncertain and find the vocabulary that we need to describe how we're feeling, rather than just going sad, happy or fine, trying to find the absolute right word to describe how we're feeling. Then we also made our worry monsters. I've still got mine handy, ready to put any worries that we had. And I know some of you have made those. And it's always, you can go back to any of the videos from the previous weeks and go back to the activities and have another go if you want. And then last week we focused really hard on thinking about Unworry Island. And again, if you haven't done that yet, it's a really good place to start. Do you remember Unworry Island is a place where everything is perfect, and it's a place to what we call condition our brains to try and think whenever we're feeling tense or anxious or worried about the future, go to Unworry Island, keep going back to it and choosing all the great things there are to do there. Do you remember mine was a hot sunny beach with the sound of the waves lapping on the shore, the sun coming down on my body and me swimming in a deep blue sea. That's my Unworry Island. And yours, some of yours are very different from that. I know somebody had snowy scene where they just wanted to roll about in the snow. So Unworry Island, your place to go, your special happy place that helps you relax, unwind, and go there to lose all your worries. So another way of doing that. If you remember, this mindfulness exercise was really good, and this is there's a link on the sheet that I sent to mums and dads and families last week, and also you can search this. If you just say Bell and mindfulness on YouTube, you'll find this. It's about closing our eyes, relaxing and listening to the sounds around us. So I want to talk a little bit today, we'll be going back over some of this, about how looking at beauty in nature can make us feel really positive. And scientists and psychologists, remember we talked about that, what a psychologist was, people who study how the brain works and how emotions work. They've done research on how it makes us feel when we look at beauty in nature and positive images in nature. And you know what? They found that it has a really calming effect on our bodies, and it can help us feel relaxed. And when we feel relaxed, we feel happy. And when we feel happy, all the good chemicals in our body send those feelings all the way around to our brains and our bodies, and it helps us achieve more, feel positive, and help us do our best. So actually that being happy is a really important thing because it helps us with our resilience when things are a bit tougher. And I want us to look at this picture for a second and just focus in on it. Can you all see what it is? Sometimes it's hard. You look at one section of it. What we're going to do over the next few slides is look at some pictures in nature and try and get our brains to really focus on the images and what we think about them. So let's look at this one. Just pause the video and really stare at the image and see what you think. How did you get on? Yes, it's a peacock, and the peacock displays its feathers when it wants to attract a mate. And sometimes they do that also when they're slightly feeling anxious, because it wards off other creatures. But just let's look at the beautiful plumage. Plumage are the feathers. Each one of these is an individual feather. I want you to have a look. There's the main body of the peacock. And this is the male bird. The peahen looks quite different, but the boy likes to show off all its feathers. But just looking at that is kind of mesmerizing, isn't it? You focus in on what I call the eye of the feather, what looks like great big blue eyes. But look at the colors there. I wonder how you felt when you looked at it, whether you thought it was really a pretty thing to look at. Let's have a look at some more. So you can see nature very easily, even if you can't get outside. Though actually, if you do go outside, even if you've got a small space or if you've got no garden, if you go for a walk, I want you to if you do go for a walk, look around you and see what you can see. It's amazing how many different creatures, birds and animals you see on your walk. But if you can't get out, the weather's bad, or you're trapped indoors for other reasons, you can see nature very easily. If you type in nature, then on Google, you'll see lots of pictures, and we're going to do that in a moment. Or you can go to all kinds of other things like YouTube and look for nature. And on this page, that's all about the symmetry and the shapes in flowers. For those of you at school, if you click on this link, it will take you to that page. And if you click on this one, it will also take you to that page. I think in a moment we're going to look at some different pictures, and we're going to think about how we feel when we see them. And your immediate reactions, whether they make you feel funny, whether they make you feel happy, whether they make you go, oh, cute, how you actually feel. And then if you like the picture, just pause the video for a little bit longer and spend a bit of time looking at it. Look at the individual sections. The first picture I've got, we're going to be thinking about how we feel when we look at these pictures. And that's why all those positive words right the way from the beginning, do you remember this? See if they make a different feelings in you. See if you can use the language to help you describe how you feel when you look at the pictures. There may not be the word you feel. You may feel different from that. You might have your own language, like fuzzy or cheery or happy or soft, or you can choose any language you want to try and to describe your feelings. Let's have a look. First picture. Just pause the video and look and see how you feel. Now you might describe the pictures as cute or soft or cuddly, and that would describe the creatures there, these puppies or small dogs. They bring out a feeling in you, but if you say cute, that's not how you're feeling, that's what you can see in those animals. If you makes you feel, I'll tell you how it makes me feel. When I look at these pictures, I kind of feel really happy. My son looked at this picture and he said he felt jealous because he would really like a dog. Well, he'd like a pet. And so when he saw the pictures, he felt that way. But generally, when he looked at them, he felt really happy looking at them. And I do too. I particularly feel happy when I see this one, because this dog, it looks like it's bounding towards me. None of those pictures make me feel sad, because they all seem like really happy, content dogs. And so that makes me feel that they've got happy homes. And that one makes me feel a little bit sleepy. Just pause the video if you would like to, and just look at the individual pictures of the dogs and see what feelings it brings into you. Somebody also said to me that they looked at those pictures and they felt love. They felt really warmth towards those animals. Let's have a look at the next one. You might not be a dog person, you might be a cat person, which is what I am. And it made me really smile, this picture. I felt a different kind of feeling when I saw those, because I thought those cats all seemed so different and so happy. And I particularly like this one. I wonder why that is. I think I like that one the most because it's a cat outdoors. And do you remember what I said about psychologists? Psychologists believe that being with nature makes us feel happy, so we feel more positive. And with that one, I like that the kitten is looking at something, and I think probably maybe a butterfly or a fly is attracting its attention. So, how do you feel when you look at those pictures? We're going to look at some different pictures. I won't go through them quite quickly. If you like them, then you may pause the video and look at them a little bit longer. Interesting. Can you see the shapes? Do you know what it is? To me, it looks like it might be a honeycomb. These are all hexagonal shapes, but look at the patterns. You could look at that for ages and see something different each time. If you'd like to, you can pause the video. What about this one? It's a plant of some sort. I think it's an aloe, but I'm not sure. And if you look at it carefully, you never stop looking at the patterns and the shapes. Ooh, now that's interesting. There's no spider on that, so if you're scared of spiders, you don't need to worry because there is no spider, but the web itself is nature. It looks beautiful. Can you see there's some dew, some light water on the web, making it really fascinating to look. I've liked to look at the shapes here and looking how the patterns in nature. And this one is a huge shell. Look at the swirls shape. Beautifully coloured, and look at the inside here is really lovely. That's a close-up of the patterns inside the individual feathers of the peacock. Now let's have a look. With this, we've got drawings of leaf shapes and the patterns there. And what's really nice about those is looking to see how different they are. I think those have been hand drawn, and that is something you can do. You can make your own shapes or you can print some off, and there will be some to do later. Let's have a look. And another one. And another one. And then this one is I took that and I just spent a moment or two just making the patterns because I thought I would enjoy drawing it. So the patterns, there's nothing right or wrong, but I actually enjoyed using a white pen on some black on the screen, but I also enjoyed doing a white pen on some white chalk on some black paper to make those patterns. And that can give us a really good sense of well-being doing that. Now, I want you to stop the video and get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil, and I want to see if you can draw 3 squares for me. What we're going to do now is a set of mindfulness activities. You can do 1 or all 3 of them, but I just want to give you an idea how you can do something that really focuses in on what you want to create. So I want you to draw 3 squares. They can be any 3 squares, and they can be close together or far apart. They can be small or big, it's up to you. So you draw 3 squares, and then you're going to stop the video, and then I'm going to say, take as long as you can, draw, make something out of your 3 squares. Make it whatever you want. Draw whatever you want. I'll move on and you can see what I did. So with mine, I made 1 square into a box. I made another square into a pattern, which I coloured in. And then my 3rd square, I made into a funny face and a little body. Okay, now I did that very quickly. I'm hoping that you spent a bit longer. Can you see, just spending time, just thinking and making something yourself is a really good activity to do. Let's look at the next one. The next one is, I want you to draw 3 triangles. Any 3 triangles, it's completely up to you. Again, draw your 3 triangles, then stop the video and have a go at making your 3 triangles into something, whatever you want. Take as long or as short as you want to do it, or leave it till the end and do them all at the end. Let's see what I did with mine. Well, I made I used 3 triangles all in one for me and made a sort of face, a sort of cattish type face. With the other triangle, you can see I made a very basic Christmas tree. And with my 3rd triangle, I made a pattern. Now, I can't do this very easily using the flip chart, but I would have coloured those in if I'd had a bit more time. But I can come back to it, can't I, if I want to? And that's what I want you to do. And then finally, I want you to draw 3 circles. Take your 3 circles and do exactly the same thing. Any 3 circles, you can draw around something if you want, or you could just take one, draw around a saucer or a cup. And then I want you to see what you can create. This is yours. This is not anybody else's. There are no rights or wrongs. You just try your best. Let's see what I did. Now with my 3 circles, I did something very different. In my first circle, I did just making those circly spirals, and I kept changing my paint to see what effect I could get. I quite like that. And actually, I found I took a lot longer over it than I was expecting to. With the other one, I used this colour and I made lots of dots of different sorts. And then I went away and came back to it, and I noticed that I'd gathered my black spots in certain ways and my red spots, and then the yellow were everywhere. And then my third circle, I turned into a little Martian. So this is what you can do. This is mindfulness. It's picking something and just going with the moment and trying yourself. Now, what do people say? Now, this is what people say about mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't difficult. We just need to remember to do it. We have to spend time on ourselves. I've talked about this every week. It's really important just to do something that makes you happy or makes you calm. In a world full of doing, that means like learning and being and doing things for your mums and dads, and doing things for home, doing things for your friends, doing schoolwork. That's a world of doing. It's important to take a moment to breathe and just to be. And that's all I want you to do in this session today, is breathe and be. I've got some sheets like this, which you can have a go at if you'd like. And what I'd like you to do today for your activity, or you don't have to do it now, you can come back to it, is take a moment to do and to be. I want you to try your constant doodling. You can have that a go again, or do the rings, circles or triangles activity that we've just done. Most important is take a look at nature. So try and search for some nature to look at, some pictures. We'll be coming back to this after half term. I would like you to, there are some links on Google Classroom, but anyway, if you just, if you type in BBC Winter Watch Mindfulness, lots of those things will come up for you to do. So you can just look at some animals, take a picture of the sort of animal. If you've got a pet, then spend a bit of time just actually stroking or being with your pet. And I would love you to try the triangles, squares and circles activity again, because I think you'll enjoy doing that. But also on Google Classroom, if you're in year 4, you can get those links very easily. Click on one of those links and see where they take you. You don't have to spend very long. 10 minutes of watching nature can do so much good. Have a great time. Try and enjoy yourself. Have a great half term, and I'll see you next time. Bye.